Everyone, remain calm.
Back for more, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
How long is it going to take for that to spread around the globe?
This was all John Hammond's dream. Hold on to your butts.
Seriously? Well, we're back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 194th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I am your host, Brad Jost, and we're here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. Of course, before we get into this episode, I have to give a wonderful congratulations to Jennifer Tarek and Josh Evans. Well, I guess it's not Jennifer Tarek, it's Jennifer Evans now. So congratulations to both of you on the amazing wedding this past weekend. I was very privileged to be involved in it, be a groomsman. So I was just beyond excited the entire weekend. It was such a blast getting to meet so many new faces, people from online. I had such a wonderful time. It was awesome. It's not often that moments like this happen in a fan community where everybody gets to know each other so well, and we all become such good friends that, we're all a part of a wedding and invited to a wedding, and we all get to meet each other, hang out, dance, party, and watch an amazing ceremony take place. It was such a beautiful day. So thank you to Jen and Josh for including me in that day and, bringing out so many Jurassic fans. Of course, I got to shout out Tom. Tom Fishenden was there, and I had a lovely first meet with Tom. I've never met him in person before, and it's so funny that you can have a podcast and have somebody that is so prominent on this podcast, but have never met him before. But I did this weekend, and it was awesome. So thank you for spending some time with me this weekend, Tom. Also, shout out to Chris and Jack from Jurassic Outpost. They were also groomsmen in the wedding, and I spent a lot of time with them, so they're both awesome dudes. We had a great time together. And, of course, Caleb, Sam, Corey. It was so great to meet you three, and, after talking online with all of you so much, it's so great to finally meet you three in person. So, thank you guys. And also for having breakfast the next day. That was so awesome. And for entertaining Lincoln so much during the wedding and of course the breakfast, man, that was great of you guys. I really, really appreciate that. But yeah, and Lord Christine was out there. Lord Christine herself was in person at this wedding, and I loved it. It was so fantastic to meet with you and hang out and see you in person. And just the fact that you made the trip out there. You came from very far just to come and celebrate with Jen and Josh. That was really, really incredible. But just to really meet so many new people as well, Anna, Nicole, and Ashley and Kelsey and Melissa. It was so great to meet you all and to hang out for a good amount of time. That was really wonderful. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody out there that also attended. It was such a party, such a whirlwind, and I'm glad that I was invited and part of it. And, of course, to celebrate Jen and Josh. That's the most important thing. And don't worry, we will hear from Jen next week in the Jurassic Mailbag. She had some time for us to sit together and record the episode. Well, that sounds a little misleading. We didn't actually sit together and record over the weekend. We did it a little bit earlier than that, but you will get the classic Jurassic Mailbag again next week. So stay tuned for that. But in this episode, we're going to head to the tower, boost the signal, and relay all the latest news and community topics in the Jurassic Wire. So, as always, Aaron Beyer and I will tackle some of the most recent news and rumors, and of course, spotlight something from the community, I guess, and you'll find out later. But of course, we'd also hope that you like everything that we feature in this episode. Hopefully, we're not too negative on some things, but we always try to be as positive as possible when it comes to Jurassic. But it is the Jurassic Wire, so there is always a little bit of well, concerns. We always have concerns. So I hope you enjoy that. And of course, all debates and conversations in this segment are our own opinions and insights from the things that we've seen in the news and around the community. So stay tuned to the beginning of the segment to hear everything that we will be discussing. And of course, before we get this episode, we got some business to take care of. So you know what? We're going to start with this one thing here, our Facebook group. So I know a lot of people have been asking to join, but you know what? It's a very private group. No, I'm kidding. I mean, in a sense it is. We want you guys to confirm that you are a part of this listening community. So we have a few questions on there for you to answer, just to let us know that you have listened and you know who we are and what we're about. And it kind of helps us not weed out, but just collect the podcast listeners. That's really what we're trying to do there, is get the people who are listening to the show, who are interacting with the show, and know what we're discussing here on the episode. So please answer those questions. We have been, unfortunately, denying some people to the group because nobody wants to answer the questions. So if that happened to you, I apologize. Please go back, answer the questions, and be a part of the group. But we do let a lot of people in as well because people are doing the right thing and answering those questions. So thank you so much to everybody who has done so. But yeah, that's our PSA for today. But also over on YouTube, let me see, what do we got here? So we started out the week promoting Tal's his Islands of Adventure Jurassic Park video. So he was kind enough to make up a promo for our channel, and we talked about it. You heard it all last week in the Main Street segment on last week's episode, where we talked all about his video, the intricacies of Islands of Adventure's Jurassic Park area, and he has the video uploaded on his channel. So if you have not seen it yet, I will try to remember to include it in the show notes as well, but go check it out on his video or his channel. It's the Traveling Clat. Go check that one out. We also did another live stream here in the studio, so I talked all about Mattel's John Hammond figure that's being released, in quotes. So make sure to check that out. I tried to temper your anger a little bit, and maybe I'll try to do so again today, but Aaron may try to dissuade me from that, but we'll see. We'll find out later what we're discussing in the wire. Also, I did a few toy hunt videos or merch hunts, and we went out to Target. Me and Lincoln tried to track down some stuff. It's been a while because Target really hasn't updated their selections. So it was interesting to kind of really dive deep and try to see what we could find. Also, I did go to a Walmart as well. I know this is thrilling to hear, guys. I went to Target. I went to Walmart. So mundane, but I did these things for you guys. So I went out and I found some brand new items for me at the store. So I actually was able to track down the Roarivores. Now, I know a lot of you may be saying, I've seen those for a very long time. And you saw them out at New York Toy Fair. Well, I did, but I wasn't able to buy them there, of course. But I did finally track them down. I don't know what has taken so long, but the Battle at Big Rock dinosaurs have come and sometimes gone, and these just never came. We got the Savage Strikes already, some attack packs, but for some reason these were just so far behind. And I know if you listen to Collect Jurassic World, they had talked about these items a few weeks ago, and they were like, well, these are pretty easy to find out there. And I'm like, guys, no. But yeah, I'm just like rambling. I'm just so hyped from that amazing wedding this weekend. I'm just still amped up and ready to go. I'm sure you're sensing that on me right now. I've had no script so far, so I am just going off here. But that's what the show's about now. After the hiatus, I've really tried to get off the script, so that's what I'm giving you right now here today. So those were my two videos, the merch hunts as well. So that was it. That was our weekly contribution to our Jurassic Park podcast YouTube channel. But yeah, that's really about it. I think that's all I have to promote for you guys this week. Hopefully we'll have some more stuff over on YouTube this week. Who knows? But enough of me completely rambling. Why don't we go ahead and get this episode kicked off with the 9th iteration of the Jurassic Wire.
The debate over Isla Nublar rages on.
They're taking no chances of a repeat of the San Diego incident.
I'm talking about man-made cataclysmic change.
The U.S. Senate has convened a special committee to answer a grave moral question.
Roger that. Air 1, clear for takeoff. Begin tracking.
Copy that.
Go!
Tracking on it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Jurassic Wire. I'm Brad Jost, and my co-anchor for this program is Aaron Beyer. The Jurassic Wire is the segment here on the Jurassic Park Podcast where we discuss all the latest news on the saga and the latest conversations in the Jurassic community. Today, we're going to be discussing the live tour, Lego Jurassic Park gates, Bryce Dallas Howard's Instagram, and a whole lot of John Hammond. And then we have a community spotlight as well. But before all that, let's welcome in Aaron. How's it going, dude?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little salty. I'm going to try not to inject too much of that into the episode. I'm going to actually try to push aside my personal salt and maybe just back everything up with some facts or something like that. But no, I'm pretty good. Good.
Yeah, I know it's been an interesting time over the past month, you know, being Jurassic June and all. There's been so much stuff out there, and we've covered some of these things a lot already, so we're not, or some of the things that have been released, so we're not really going to discuss those too much, like Camp Cretaceous, and you know we did a whole episode on that, really. So there's not really much else to say about that for the time being, I guess. But I think there's a whole lot of other stuff.
I debated like bringing it up again, and then I re-listened to the episode to see because I had saved some stuff last time, and then by this week I completely forgot, so it must not have been that important.
Look, we could definitely do like several more episodes on it, but like it gets to the point where it's like, do we really need to, or like as a listener, do we really need to hear this again or whatever? So yeah, I want to save everybody's ears for another episode. So we'll try to discuss some things we haven't really discussed all that much here. So keep it fresh, you know? But of course we do have some follow-up as always. So over the past 2 months, we've discussed this Jurassic World Evolution leak. Now, in April, we discussed like what the leak was and everything, and then in May, we kind of discussed like, oh, you know what? It seems like this leak is just not true. It seems like it's not coming true. None of this stuff seems to be happening all that much. Like all the bigger items that they were mentioning. But as Jurassic June came about, we actually, from our team, we had Tom Fishenden and Steve Hurl actually go out to Frontier, and they learned a whole lot of stuff about the game. And then I think, honestly, like the week that we're recording this, the new updates came out, which pretty much, made us liars, I guess, in the last episode. So that one big thing in the leak said that July will be a Claire Deering DLC that will introduce a safari truck, paleobotany, and missions will be to save the dinosaurs from Nublar and move to Sanctuary Island, some decorations, and a new dinosaurs, Albertosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, and another. So I remember we were just I think something like last month, we're just, this stuff's not really coming true. It doesn't seem like it's legit. But yeah, that was a big oops, I guess, on that one.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, it wouldn't be surprised if it was originally slated for July. And then, because Jurassic June isn't known outside of the fan community. It's nowhere near as formidable as May the 4th or whatever, right?
Oh, so yeah.
I'm almost wondering if some of these things were maybe they already had them ready to go, and they're like, well, screw it, let's just put it out in June to kind of go along with that. There's all kinds of other marketing things that have been happening with other brands. So it just kind of feels like the right time to release that. Not to mention there was E3. So maybe Frontier had a small presence on the floor with this update. I'm not really sure. I didn't go to E3 or anything. But yeah, I mean, it was close. And the one thing I was super excited about was the Tyrannosaurus. And my first complaint is going to be I don't like the Tyrannosaurus in this game. It doesn't look good. But no, like overall, like everything looks okay. I think the Albertosaurus looks great. I picked it up. I haven't played it yet. I think the Albertosaurus looks pretty good. The Tyrannosaurus is okay. It's just not the. I really love the one from Operation Genesis. I thought that was like kind of a beautiful animal in that game, and for being so low poly, you know, it was great. And this one seems to be missing the mark for me, even if it's more like accurate to what the animal actually was. But no, I'm excited to dive into it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that leak was spot on. So, you know, I guess look out for maybe the rest of that stuff coming soon that was on the leak. So, yeah, that's one thing we were just like, I don't think this is happening, and then whoops, it did. So that's our one little follow-up for this week or this month. But yeah, we got a few topics to discuss here, and this first one is not really much to discuss, to be honest. Jurassic World Live Tour teased on their social medias that there's going to be a new trailer. So everybody's getting excited, getting hyped. And the trailer debuted. I'll actually just go ahead and play a clip from it here. Or a clip. It is a clip, so let's just play it. Life finds. Oh, where'd the audio go? I don't know. Away. I don't know why the audio just got weird.
Live show
there we go.
Fans everywhere have been waiting for. Jurassic World Live Tour, coming September 2019.
I don't know what's going on with the audio. Sorry if it was coming through weird. But yeah, it really wasn't much. It was just like a bunch of clips. Pretty much kind of like on repeat from like what we saw last time with a little bit of different stuff. But I was kind of hoping for a bigger reveal, especially with like the hype that they were giving on their social medias. But yeah, it really wasn't much else than that. They did like an actual photo, a video shoot where they set up what they potentially will do on stage and all that. So it was really just a slight expansion on the first trailer. So, the tour begins in September, but, there's still some time, I guess, to release a bigger trailer maybe or something else, hopefully. But I don't know. I'm still excited for this no matter what, but I just thought it was worth mentioning real quick.
I'm excited for it. I don't know if it's even something I'm going to get to go to. I don't know. I don't really have anybody to go with on this one. And I don't know if it's something that like I should, drive 6 hours to go see, or, if maybe I just try to catch the synopsis online. I'm not really sure. What I'm kind of excited about is the possibility of like a Trudon figure, hopefully made by Mattel at the show. I don't even think you would even have to have a ticket to go buy one of those if it's at like a gift shop. You could probably just walk into the stadium or whatever it is and just go grab one if you're nearby.
Maybe. I don't know about that. I feel like with these live tours, like I went to one, what was it? Disney on Ice, which I think is also produced by Feld Entertainment.
Sure.
And yeah, it was like a ticket at the door. Like you couldn't even get in.
Oh,
so,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then maybe I'm wrong, but this looks really cool. Again, Blue looks awesome. I think Jeannie looks a little off, but it is what it is. It's a live tour. They're obviously trying to make her look a little different than the Raptor. I think the gyrosphere on the floor is cool. I think that's something we kind of speculated a long time ago could be a possibility if you maybe had like a VIP ticket or something like that. So yeah, just another taste.
Oh yeah,
well, be relevant here in June. And, good on them for it.
Yeah, well, those seatings are going to be available in the front. So there's a very select amount of, I guess they're still like the gyrosphere-ish kind of seatings. They're called like environmental seating or something like that. I guess you're like part of the environment, the habitat down there. So
Sure.
That seating does exist. What you see in a trailer is not that. There's actually a gyrosphere that rolls through the show. And there's also other vehicles and all kinds of stuff, motorcycles, Jeeps. So there's some like weird capture containment car, golf cart looking thing. So that's cool. I mean, they've got a great looking show. It's just, this is a very, very small insight into what they're producing. I'm assuming like once they actually get the T-Rex up and running, once they get the full production on stage, for rehearsals or something like that, I'm sure they will be filming a much grander, trailer, I would assume. This is trailer number 2, apparently, but I'm expecting a little bit more maybe next time around.
Yeah, again, I think this kind of just backs up to what I was saying. Like, I don't think a lot of these companies are thinking that June is really anything, but in the Jurassic community, that's the time to get all your marketing out because it's the most relevant time of the year for the franchise. Like, everyone is involved on social media and stuff. So again, good on them for getting a trailer out. It reminded me again to think about getting tickets and annoying my parents or annoying my sister to let my nephew go. Which I don't think is going to happen, but who knows? We'll see.
Nice. Yeah. So let's move on here to the next one. Lego, revealed this new set here for the gates and the T-Rex. Did you get a look at this thing?
I did get a look at it. It's really cool. I have some gripes. I have some compliments. Like, I'm kind of all over the place on this one. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, kind of on par with everybody else. I went through the description and what it has and everything in the news in an episode recently. But I'll say I am excited for this. I think it's a great looking piece. I love the T-Rex. I love the park gates. I think it's got some fun stuff on the back. But overall, I'm disappointed that this was it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we kind of all expected more. Maybe it is that Jurassic June mentality. Like you were saying before, like I kind of maybe expected a bigger trailer. Here, I'm expecting maybe a bigger Lego set, not everything just embedded into the back of a park gate. That's kind of disappointing because that signals to me that, we're not probably ever going to get a visitor center. But like I said, I think this is very cool looking. I am excited to have it, and I have seen some in-person pictures. It's massive. It is huge. So yeah, I am excited.
I mean, it looks big. I guess my issue with it is that I've got the entire run of the original Jurassic World line, and I've got most of the Fallen Kingdom stuff. Mostly stuff that's like island centric. Like, I didn't get the mansion for the Indoraptor. Mm-hmm. I'd like to get it, but it just doesn't go with like all the island stuff. But I do have like the Carnotaur, and I've got the old Jurassic Park, like I think it was Walmart exclusives maybe, that had like the Jurassic Park sets, like the hatchery and the Dilophosaur encounter and stuff. So all that stuff is really cool. I just kind of don't get why this doesn't really fit in with that. And by that, I'm meaning like the T-Rex is brick built, and honestly, like in my opinion, I think the T-Rex itself is kind of ugly. It just is like, we have all these nice smooth dinosaurs that look like traditional Lego dinosaurs, because these dinosaur molds were actually made for a different line before they got the Jurassic license. The gate is really cool. The font is wrong, and I feel like for a sticker they could have easily have kind of nailed that down a bit better. But again, the gate is really cool. I think instead of a T-Rex, I would have liked to have seen the 2 cars, because they've not officially released those in product form. The cars are in the Lego game on like video games or whatever, but so I guess there is kind of like a blueprint as to how to build them if you really wanted to. But I think I would much rather have seen the Explorers come with the gate than the giant T-Rex. Like, you have to put a dinosaur in a Jurassic Park set, so I get it. But I almost would have rather the singular piece T-Rex with the red Jeep and the green Explorer with all these characters. These minifigures are great, and the huge downside of this is that it's $249.
Oh,
so yeah, really, for me, this would be like the gate and the minifigs, not even the T-Rex. Like, I don't even know if I would build the T-Rex personally. So,
okay,
but it's a lot of pieces. 3,120 pieces. That's huge.
Yeah. I agree that the T-Rex does some, in some poses look a little goofy. There is like a different pose you can put it in, like where it's doing like that kind of iconic roaring pose where it's a little bit lower, hunched over. I think it looks fun. Like, I really think the set looks great. Yes, it would have been amazing to get, 2 Explorers, 1 Explorer, something. I think one more thing would have really sold me on this. just a little bit more. And yeah, that font does look like kind of like a knockoff font. You know, it's probably just the Africa Jurassic font,
right,
instead of the actual Jurassic font.
Right.
So yeah, but like I said, I like it. I hate that the stuff's kind of wedged in the back. Like, it's funny that they added a toilet, but like, let's just have the toilet set, like with, you know, the whole thing, a breakaway set or something. And I find it really comical that there's a pile of mud. Like, what? Why even include that?
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, 'cause it's got the canister.
It's got the Barbasol.
Weird. Okay.
It's just mud with the Barbasol can. Like, what is that scene? Like, why is that here? I get it. It's a big part of the movie, but find something else. I don't know.
It's interesting that it's all in the back. I'm wondering if there's some kind of like swivel mechanic that this gate sits on that you could spin it around. I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, like none of these things actually justify. Well, I take it back. I think the Ray Arnold portion of this actually could justify like having an actual set.
But they already have that set. That's the one that you have. That like,
yeah, well, like the hatchery / like,
yeah, it's just like if you took this out of this set and then put it next to that, it would fit in perfectly. Like, or just attach it to it. Like, so you could just do that, you know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do like the Ellie Sattler portion of it,
Mm-hmm.
but like the Ian Malcolm, like one, I think I have this Malcolm figure from some little promo set. And like, that's the other thing. Not all of these characters are exclusive to this set. So like, I think I actually have half of these minifigures based on like the Walmart exclusives. I don't think I have a Ray Arnold. I don't think I have a Hammond. I don't think Hammond was ever one that they released. And Ray Arnold is one that they haven't released. Oh, I guess next.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I only have like a 3 of these maybe. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's just weird and it's very expensive. Like, I was debating getting the Indoraptor set, and I was debating on that based on the fact that like right now is that sweet spot with Legos where the prices online are actually down before they sell out, and then prices will skyrocket again.
Mm-hmm.
So I was debating getting one, and I was debating that at like $100. You know what I'm saying? So like this is 2.5 times more than that. Like, I don't even know if that's really like debatable.
Yeah.
Especially because this is one of their movie promo like sets or something. This is kind of outside the actual like line of like Jurassic World. And I have some of the other ones. Like I have the Ghostbuster set, which was the car with like all the figures that came on a little pedestal. I have the DeLorean, which was, you know, Doc and Marty and the DeLorean. Like those were nowhere near the price of this thing. This is astronomical, really cool, but wow, that is asking a lot of the fandom.
It really is. I mean, I know that's what Legos go for, or Lego goes for, but it's very tough. $249. I struggle with like personally in my mind, like I just can't justify even the lower ones, like 70, 80. Like that just is a struggle for me because it's really a one and done toy for me. I don't take them apart and put them back together. I don't know if you do that, but they that's it. They're put together, and unless they fall off a shelf, I'm not putting them back together. Like that's it. So $249 for one and done, and you're talking just a few quick hours probably. Like it is a big set, but it won't take you all that long.
No, and I think of that price, and I think like I'm assuming the Brachiosaur from Mattel is going to retail around $50, maybe $60, and I think like, oh my gosh, like I could actually get multiples of those, which that's to me like that's not really, those aren't really one and done. I can do I can take those on, I can do photos with those outside. I can put them on my, I can take them to work. I can't wait to get one on my desk at work because I'll have basically all the stuff except for the Hammond figure to do that like opening sequence from Jurassic Park. Like I could actually have that on my desk because I have all the accessories to do it.
Mm-hmm.
This just seems like something for a person who has that huge Lego display like in their basement, like you see in the Lego movie or like you see online at like Lego cons and stuff like that. Like I don't think this is really for me, which is sad because I like to collect anything and everything I can get, but man, we're really getting up there with this one.
Yeah, you could just get nice 5 batch of Brachiosaurus for this. So that's probably, I'm sure, what you'll be opting for instead.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And like, I'm looking at this gate, and honestly, I don't think that this gate would be difficult to replicate. Like, now that I see this, right? Like, I look at the T-Rex and I go, no way could I sit there and try to figure out how to build this T-Rex right off the image. But the gate, I mean, without all the little cubby holes on the back, like, I could totally figure this out. That's not rocket science.
I hope you do. I really hope you do, because it'll save you a lot of money.
I'll print off my own Jurassic Park sticker and put it on the front. I'm not sure. I'm being down on this, which I really shouldn't be, because I'm not that down on it. It's just, I don't think it's going to be for me, which I think disappoints me, if that makes any sense.
Oh, for sure. I get it. Like, it's a struggle, but I like the set. I think it looks great. I just wish it was, something else, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
I think the minifigures are awesome. They look exactly like the counterparts from the video game that they did. And I've seen other video game to toy iterations where they actually kind of change the figure and like improve upon them. But like, these characters look spot on. So it's great in that sense.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, that's about it for Lego Jurassic Park gates. Let's move on to Bryce Dallas Howard. She recently made a post on Instagram kind of promoting Jurassic World Evolution and Claire's Sanctuary. So, as you know, she did the voice in Claire's Sanctuary, this new DLC, and she made a post here. I'm just going to read from it. It says, "For me, the only thing as fun as making Jurassic World movies is getting to participate in Jurassic adventures across mediums. Whether it's a roller coaster ride, a toy, or a video game, each opportunity to step back into Claire's shoes, or each is an opportunity to step back into Claire's shoes." I'm going to just stop right there. Because I think the interesting part of that is when she says, whether it's a roller coaster ride, that's the interesting part.
Right.
Like, what is she talking about here? Because as far as we know, she's not participating in any roller coaster rides, right?
Well, I mean, we know there's a roller coaster being built at Universal in Orlando. She might just be speaking in general about like rides, and talking about the water ride, which we know she's going to be in just based off of the poster work, and we assume that Chris Pratt's going to be in that too. But I wouldn't be surprised if she was. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a part of that new coaster going in Orlando, and I wouldn't be surprised if she shot the roles within the same days of shooting for the water ride. So, or shot the scenes, I should say. These rides all have grand plans, and it might have been less expensive just to hire her for one gig, which contained 2 rides.
Oh, for sure. I think that's certainly plausible. Disney has had a habit of doing this recently. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, when they were filming the second movie, Volume 2, they actually, brought the Imagineers in, and they, along with James Gunn, they filmed the sequences for Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which is the Tower of Terror redo out in California Adventure. So they actually just did it right there on the set of Guardians 2. What better than, the set's already there, you're already in costume, it's ready to go. We don't have to do any extra prep work or anything. It saves a lot of money to have to send all these people out there, like however many of them there are, 5 or 6, right? To get them all set up and do this again, like that's a lot of money. So in this case, maybe that's happening here. Maybe they did film 2 things at once. I really don't know what's going to be happening in the coaster, and I wonder if Universal still has it all fleshed out or not. I'm not sure. But ultimately, I feel like it was probably just a little clunky wording, and maybe she's not a theme park person, to be honest. Maybe she just says roller coaster as in ride, like any ride. So like you were saying, maybe she just said roller coaster, but really means the river adventure. So that's a potential possibility, I think, a probable possibility.
I think that it kind of unfortunately plays to the fact that this movie franchise is not exactly skyrocketing, either one of their careers. You don't see Chris Pratt really getting involved with the video games. I wish he would. That's actually a pretty common practice to loop these actors into the video game adaptations of these movies. So I think it's kind of weird that Chris Pratt is not involved He'll obviously be involved when they need like an official face, like for like video for the ride and stuff. But I was really bummed in Evolution when he didn't show up to do the voice. Like, how long could that possibly have taken? And I think the money would have been well worth it. The extra money would have been well worth it to put him in that game. So I'm glad to see that she's embracing it. It's really fun when an actor gets like embraces the character that people love. Like, that takes me back to like Christopher Reeve, like really loved Superman. And it really showed, I think, in the movies, even though some of those movies weren't all that great, I think that he was like a great beacon for the character and for the fans, you know, to kind of all like, you know, look at and appreciate and everything. And I just think there's other actors that just don't care very much. And I'm wondering if this says really anything about Chris Pratt and how much he cares about the role. I'm not trying to speak mean about it or anything. I don't really know. But I just wonder like how hard they're trying to get him to do these things when she just seems so eager to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bryce has been great as like an ambassador for Jurassic, 100%. While she doesn't discuss it like nonstop or anything, she does participate and she does discuss it every now and then. But yeah, I feel like a lot of other cast members just it just goes away. You know, like Pratt is definitely not talking about it. Unless it was like for the Lego movie where he had like his little Lego characters and he was, you know, had a raptor and all that stuff. But I feel like he's just radio silent the rest of the years, you know, in between the movies. B.D. Wong sometimes brings it up. But really, I feel like that's it. There's not a lot of mention of it from the cast members. So I would love to see him participate more because, yeah, you're right. That evolution stuff it throws me off every time because you hear Jeff Goldblum, you hear B.D. Wong and Bryce Dallas Howard, and like it just throws me off every time. You know, when I hear that, like, you know, Southern sounding guy that just pretends to be him and it doesn't sound anything like him. And it also reminds me of like the Toy Story gang because I pay attention a lot to the Disney parks and a lot of stuff that they've got going on. If you pay attention to like the audio from, you know, rides or shows or anything that is non-film related, video games, Woody is not done by Tom Hanks. It's Tom Hanks's brother, strangely enough. Like,
sure.
And it sounds so odd. It like he's almost got the Tom Hanks voice, but it's just a little off, and it makes me like, I'm like, come on, get it right. And then even Buzz is like some other guy that he actually sounds legit. Like you could actually confuse the two. But so it's always funny to know that these people are not doing the voices. But I think it's special to know that, you know, Bryce Dallas Howard is doing the voice for Claire pretty often.
Yeah, there's a story I heard once about Robin Williams after doing the first Aladdin movie, and he didn't sign up. He didn't sign up for whatever the next project was. I don't know if the next project was Aladdin 2.
It was Return of Jafar.
Was it Return? Okay, so there is an Aladdin project that Robin Williams is not a part of, and the story goes, and I might be butchering it, but it's essentially like he either didn't like the way that it came off, or he felt like he had let down the fans by not returning. And so after that performance that wasn't him, he basically vowed to always come back as long as he could, you know, to do that role. And honestly, I feel like had he been alive now, he probably would have been in this new movie. It would have been a very different movie than what it is. But I feel like that they would have been like, just like they got James Earl Jones back for Mufasa. I feel like had Robin Williams been alive, the answer would have been like, well, who else could possibly play this character, right?
Yeah, that's interesting to think about, man, because like, you know, with Aladdin, they really tried to get the ethnicities and the look of the movie correct. But yeah, you throw Robin Williams in there and it's like a completely different movie. So I wonder how he would have played into that. But you're right, with James Earl Jones coming back for Lion King, would he have been a part of this? Oh, man.
It would have been so weird. And I'm not bashing the new Aladdin movie.
No, I loved it.
I liked it. It was really good.
It was fun. It was so, and Will Smith was a blast. Like, to be honest, he was one of the things I was almost least looking forward to. But coming out of it, I'm like, I loved him in the movie. He was awesome.
Yeah, it was absolutely great. So there's a little tangent about we both left that theater and we were like, oh my gosh, we want to watch it again. This was me and my wife. And the next morning we woke up and it was like I had to start work later that day. And I was like, man, I wish I could just pop in Aladdin and like watch it. Like it was so incredibly good. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, taking this back to like the Jurassic crew, there's not too many of them, and I just feel like, unfortunately, Chris Pratt right now is such a high budget actor that he's probably not even offered some of these roles, to be honest with you.
Maybe
it
not.
Might just be like, we can't afford him. We know what his rate is, and we're not even going to offer because it would be embarrassing, right?
Yeah, you're probably right there. Let's not even bring it up to him. Let's just forget. He won't even know. Like, he'll be like,
yeah, exactly.
Wait, what? You guys did stuff without me?
Yeah,
oh, no.
Exactly.
Like, no, I don't think he cares. But I just found it interesting that this quote is about whether it's a roller coaster, a toy, or a video game. She is invested, but like, what does she mean? I mean, we could maybe reach out and ask her, I guess, but like, I don't think she would reveal either way, but no, it would be very interesting.
She's already kind of put her foot in her mouth about certain things, so it's like she's just got to not talk anymore.
She's revealing just way too much. Like, that's the thing.
Way too, but you know what?
Yeah.
She's giving the great reveals that, like, she's not saying really anything substantial. She's definitely dancing around all these different subjects. She says just enough to get the hype going, and then backs off of it really quick. She's really great to follow.
Oh yeah. I would love to see them involved in the ride in Orlando. I think that could be fun. The roller coaster, as far as we know, it's going to be really exciting. So maybe there is some pre-show stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I think she's, they're obviously all definitely involved in the ride out in Hollywood. So I'm excited about that, to see what that is. First off, I assume she's just talking about that, but it would be a nice surprise if they filmed both. That could be really cool. So that was really it about that. Do you have any extra discussion on that one?
Well, real quick about the roller coaster, just one last thing. Now, have you had the chance to watch the new Harry Potter roller coaster on YouTube or anything?
I have, yeah.
You have? Okay, so Hagrid's voice, I forget his name, who voices him.
Robbie Coltrane.
Robbie Coltrane. He talks to you while you're on the roller coaster.
Yep.
So,
and it's him, yeah.
That's not the first audio roller coaster either. Universal has now a huge line of audio on roller coasters. So it wouldn't surprise me if the new coaster had some sort of audio element.
That's a very fair point. Yeah, that's really fair, especially because if this is, which is so odd to talk about, like if this is a Owen coaster, and as far as we know, it's going to be like a take on the scene from Jurassic World where, you're chasing with the raptors through the jungle. So if that's the case, if they release the raptors, you've got to be on a motorcycle, right? Would they really
another motorcycle ride?
Would they really release two roller coaster ride or motorcycle rides right next to each other? I don't know, but it just seems like, why wouldn't you? But also, why would you? Like, I don't know, man.
That seems off. I don't know. That seems wrong.
But like, what if they're theming that so highly, like with the motorcycle? Why wouldn't you do this if that's what the story is? I mean, we're guessing, but I like to get heated on a story I have no idea about.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, I don't know. I really hope it's not a motorcycle thing. Like, do we know that for sure?
I mean, that's the ongoing conspiracy, is that's what it's going to be. It's like literally that you'll see the raptors in their cage, and then they'll get released, and you'll take off because it's a multi-launch coaster. So you will launch pretty much just like that scene in Jurassic World, just with the motorcycle off the starting line and just go through the jungle. And you brought up a great point about the onboard audio. Like, that could be something we would hear for sure. And in that case, you have to have the real Owen, Chris Pratt, do the voice. Bryce's voice, I don't know if that really wouldn't work if that's the storyline, if that's the take you're going for.
If she's on like comms with Owen, like if you're on,
that's very true. Yeah,
she's on
that's
comms,
fair.
Right? Like telling you, go left, go right, or whatever.
Very good, yeah.
GPS or something, sure.
I hope we get that moment from Twister where it's like right, left, right.
Yeah, maybe. I think we could get something like that, but like, that ride is so far off now.
Oh yeah, well,
it's way too early to speculate.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Oh man, I got too many podcasts. I don't know where I discussed it, but the projected timeline is April 2021 on that ride.
Yeah, that's
so
far out.
That's very far out, and who knows what's going to happen as that pops up, that date here. So Hagrid looks amazing. That roller coaster, it's incredibly themed. It has audio animatronics, and it has the onboard audio. It has indoor, outdoor scenes. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff. I would temper your expectations while watching Hagrid's, POV, the point of view for the ride,
Sure.
because it's not going to be the same for the Jurassic ride. It probably will not be as highly themed, but it will still be a fun ride. Apparently, as far as I could tell, they're spending $6 million on rock work for the Jurassic roller coaster. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to spend on rock work. Could be going in and out of rock, tunnels or caves or something like that, or just cliff sides. I don't really know, but
maybe. But like if you think of like the dueling dragon, well, it's not dueling dragons anymore. It's
nothing. Yeah, it's just whatever. Those are gone. It's literally just Hagrid. It's the same.
Oh,
they demolished.
Serious? I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, that's they
crazy.
literally use the same queue. They actually just reused it, rethemed it a bit, and added some new stuff. But yeah, it's literally in the same footprint.
Wow, that's crazy. Well,
yeah.
That's just a whole different conversation. We don't have to have that conversation right now. That's nuts.
Yeah. So I'm excited by the roller coaster chat. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? And yeah, I don't know. That's it.
We'll
I think
see.
that's it.
I mean, I'm excited. So who knows? Anything that Bryce Dallas Howard is willing to do extra on top of the movies is always appreciated. So
yeah. Oh, but before we move on here, I just got an update on Twitter from this user here at Vincent87411886. Hey man, shorten it. Sorry, dude, but he's always doing some great, scoping out stuff at Universal Studios, and he actually got 4 shots here. I don't know if there's anything else. Yeah, there is some other stuff actually. So let me just get into it. There's some behind the scenes pictures here. I don't know where this is located or what's going on, but it looks like a giant screen, a monitor of some sort. Maybe this is in the queue. I have no idea. But it looks like this giant screen says the M, which I'm assuming is Mosasaur based off the other pictures. And there's also a picture that pops up on the screen of, or maybe not a picture, but a video of Owen. And zooming in here, it looks like he is pretty much in his Jurassic World attire. Yep. Maybe the coloring is slightly different. I can't really tell, but very similar.
Looks like his original attire for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, it does look like he's like mid-speech, so he could be talking about the Mosasaurus. And then the next picture is the tail of the Mosasaurus. It does say something on the bottom of the screen, but I can't really make it out. And then the next screen is another tail with some graphics on the screen, and it looks like it says 60 feet. I don't know what the size of this thing is, but there's also some more pictures here. This says general and I don't know what that word is. But the screen actually has what looks to be kind of like the welcome shot of Isla Nublar, where you're kind of like maybe like a helicopter ride into the island. So you know what I mean? Like, Aaron, I'm not sure if you're looking at
when we did the live exhibition.
Yes, yeah, kind of like. Well, no. I don't mean like it looks like these people are on a helicopter or anything. It just kind of looks like that helicopter shot from all the movies where they show the island. Kind of looks like that. So maybe it's just like some promotional thing, like showcasing the different features of Isla Nublar. I don't know. And then he actually copied in like pretty much the same image from the ending of Jurassic World, so it kind of looks like the same thing. And another shot here of the Mosasaurus tail, and yes, it does say 60 feet.
So a lot of this just seems like infographic stuff. Like you're going to learn about the Mosasaurus before you go on the ride. And so that leads me to believe that this ride is about experiencing the Mosasaurus. Maybe we're on some new attraction where you can get in a boat and go in the Mosasaur Lagoon and maybe something goes wrong during that's weird.
Every description of this sounds so odd. Like anytime you try to justify why this ride exists through the Mosasaur tank, it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's definitely what it seems like. And that's really what we've speculated, is that, Bryce and Owen and, BD Wong will be introducing these things. So it looks like in this case, maybe Owen is introducing the Mosasaurus. I don't know how much sense that makes. They really should have gotten Courtney James Clark out there. Come on. Like, she is the Mosasaurus announcer, and it would have been fantastic to have her introduce that. Awesome. I'm sure she would have been like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I'm sure she's doing okay for herself out in LA.
Oh, yeah, no.
I mean, I haven't seen her like on a ton of crazy starring roles or anything lately. Even though we all love her as
but continuity, we need that continuity.
Continuity is important. But this totally looks like all we're seeing is the tail of the Mosasaur, and it looks like, I mean, I'm sorry, I think the image they use on all the packaging and stuff, I think most of it, especially the original one, it looks terrible. And to me, this looks like the tail of that image. It's the Mosasaur that's like, it's the one that like the toy was modeled after. Not, like the toy is not modeled after the Fallen Kingdom like renders. It's modeled after the original Jurassic World render, which I thought looked really bad, like almost as bad as like that T-Rex render that we all hate.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's just super weird looking. So that's kind of what this tail looks like. It might be from. It's super clear. There's no atmosphere around it. So it's definitely something. It's definitely like an infographic. It's not the actual, quote unquote, actual Mosasaurus from the ride.
So actually, as we're talking, I mean, we should just extend this whole thing because there's more updates coming in as we speak.
Oh, wow.
Here are images of Mosey's head on the television screen. I'm zooming in here. Sorry, this is all live reporting for you guys. There's another. No, that's not a screen. Where is this located? It looks like it's near the express lane. Oh, okay. So maybe that's like near the queue. So yeah, it's just got to be like a little show building or something. But yeah, it does look very similar to a Mosasaur's head. But yeah, it's like highly zoomed in.
Weird.
It looks like it's on. I don't know. I had to go to the actual profile of Vincent's and like look at the tweets and replies. But yeah, it doesn't really look like much. It just kind of looks like almost like an X-ray version of it. So maybe you are learning about the creature and like how much it can swallow or something like that. I could definitely see that being the case. But while we're discussing the theme parks, we might as well dovetail into, a lot of the imagery has come out about the park since the walls have come down and it is open at this point. Like the land is open. You just can't.
Sure.
You can't go on the ride yet, but the food was open. You could go into Jurassic Cafe or Isla New Bar. So people have been getting up close looks at all of this stuff. And one of the things that's interesting, you were talking about the Mosasaurus render and it looks like what they're using, is the fact that like inside of the buildings and on the banners, they're using very like film accurate or film renders like that they would use for marketing, which is not always like the best, or they're not the greatest representation or whatever. But I always find that interesting. If you're building an in-world park, why are you using these renders? Like, that boggles my mind a little bit.
Well, let's see. I guess it just kind of depends. Like, yeah, renders is weird.
Like, you don't have like a fully rendered image of Velociraptor Blue, like the dinosaur from your park, on the wall. I don't know. Do you?
Yeah,
is that what happens?
I guess you kind of could. So like it's weird, right? So like in the original Jurassic Park movie, when you're in Alan Grant's trailer, it's awesome that you have dinosaur toys on the shelves of that time in our world, right? You don't have Jurassic Park dinosaur figures on the shelves. You have like Papo. I mean, I don't think Papo was a thing back then, but like you had maybe like Mattel or Kenner generic dinosaur toys, that you would get from like today, like a Michael's or like a specialty toy shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in Jurassic World, when you get into the souvenir shop, there's actual Jurassic World merch and old Kenner toys on the shelves. Like it's all things that we experience in our world, like as being Jurassic licensed, right? But when I go to the zoo, okay, they might have a painting of like, let's say penguins, right? Or they might have, like probably a painting of penguins or like video of penguins. And then if they're showing an actual animal that lives in my zoo, they're showing like photographs. So it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, why would they have a render of an animal that they can't like no one's getting in the tank to take a photograph of the Mosasaurus. So like, why wouldn't they have made it look like a painting or something? And that's just, that's just, they're not thinking.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just like such a nitpick thing. Like, why do you have a full render of these? Yeah, it makes it weird. I talked about the banners a little bit before, I think on YouTube on a live stream recently, where like I expected a lot of color injected into these banners because the land itself is kind of devoid of color, outside of tans, browns, grays, and blue.
No, not Jurassic World. There's no color, man.
Well,
blue.
But in Jurassic World, the movie, like Main Street is colored by banners and stuff like that, not the buildings themselves. So I expected that in the park here, but instead they opted for these odd like shadow renders of the animals and just with some like graphical like lines and stuff on them, and they're all straight blue banners. Not Blue the dinosaur, but Blue the color. And then inside of Jurassic Cafe, there's actual like the full marketing material renders of these dinosaurs all around the walls, which I don't agree with that. I feel like that just looks like promotion and not an in-world experience, which they're selling an in-world experience everywhere else. Like for instance, Isla Nublar has no dino-themed drinks, has no dino-themed cups. They're just cups and tiki cups and drinks, which I think is great. I'm personally for that because that's what they would sell, in a real place.
No,
and
if the Jurassic World was real, there's no way you would have dinosaur cups. There's absolutely no way.
I don't know. Margaritaville, I don't think they're caring about what dinosaurs are. The guy just is carrying, Jimmy Buffett's running around with just a martini glass or something like that.
Margaritaville, sure, because that's a licensed like property, right? They're not going to bring in stuff. But and like the same thing with like Starbucks, right? And there's like that fan made or even someone on production made like the Starbucks, but like the logo with like the T-Rex skeleton, like that stuff. Okay, fine, I can agree. It's probably not there. But like, come on, man. I go to like Cedar Point in the summer, and they've got drink cups based on whatever the new ride is. Like, there's no way there's not dinosaur cups in Jurassic World. Maybe not at a fancy restaurant, okay, which is why I disagree with everybody who thinks that Chilean sea bass is going to be fed in world at an outlet bar. Like, that's not...
No, I brought that up as like a joke. I'm like, where is it? Like, obviously, it would never happen.
Would never be sold to the public. But come on, like definitely at a bar in Jurassic World, there's definitely going to be dinosaur themed drinkware for sure.
I guess maybe it's, I don't know. I
will say this in Jurassic Park, I don't think there would have been.
Well, look, if you go to Jock Lindsay's in Disney Springs,
okay,
the first week or so of their run, they had amazing cups that were collectible cups for sale, and then very shortly after they disappeared and you can't get them. They're just, like not available. I don't know, there might be some there now, but I don't know. I'm wondering about these cups at this location because there's a lot of very nice bamboo cups. There's several tiki glasses, tiki other kind of cups and stuff, so I wonder how long these will last.
I think they would have been smart to do Jurassic. Here's the thing. I think in Jurassic Park, if Jurassic Park was real, you would not have this kitschy, specialized dinosaur cups and all that stuff. Maybe from like a stand or something, like a drink stand. But like at a restaurant, no. You would have nice stuff, nice flatware, nice cups, nice everything, right? But Jurassic World embraces the kitsch. Like, it embraces the amusement parkiness of what Jurassic was trying to achieve, right? Like, I don't necessarily believe that there would have been a carnival ride at Jurassic Park, but I believe there's carnival rides somewhere in Jurassic World, because Jurassic World was about kind of cheapening that experience, right? And making it more of the amusement park rather than like the nature preserve that John originally intended. So
yeah,
this is a Jurassic World ride, and World, there should be kitschy stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair. I am just glad to see that it's not that way. Like, it's at least not branded. I'm very thankful for that. You know, I don't want to see the Jurassic World logo on everything. I'm glad, like, it doesn't have to be dinosaur oriented for my sake. But yeah, everybody has a little bit different taste. But as far as I can tell, there's no more updates coming in. It's been a few minutes now for live updates from the park. What is it? Gotta be, I don't know if this is happening right now or not, but this is late. I mean, it's late here, so it's a little bit earlier there. But let's move on here to our spotlight for what month are we in? We're still in June, right? Yeah, for June. So just recently, the Toronto Raptors won the Super Bowl, or the World's what is it? The World Series? No, the Piston Cup, or
they're the best at the basketball.
The trophy, you know? I don't know what the name. I used to love basketball. I mean, I still love basketball. I don't watch it anymore, aside from maybe that literally the only basketball I watched this year was that last game, and I was falling asleep.
Hey man, you know what? Go sports. I don't really know or follow any sports, but I'm happy they won.
Look, I mean, we wanted to, you know, play a little bit fun here and just congratulate the Toronto Raptors, because they do have a big history with Jurassic. You know, the name of the team obviously is the Raptors. Apparently back in the early 90s, you know, they had a few names, you know, queued up to potentially become either the Beavers, the Bobcats, the Dragons, the Grizzlies, the Hogs, the Raptors, the Scorpions, T-Rex. That one doesn't really fit. T-Rex, Tarantulas, Terriers, or the Towers. So there's some interesting names in there. I don't really see how T-Rex works. It's like the T-Rex, I guess.
The Toronto Tyrannosaurs, maybe?
Maybe. Maybe they just shortened it.
Toronto T-Rexes. Like, that's...
Yeah, it's too clunky. But ultimately, obviously, the Raptors won out, obviously. And I think they debuted that in 1994, but I think the choice was really heavily influenced by Jurassic Park. I mean, it's commonly known that the movie was so popular in 1993 that by the time they chose the name of the team, it's like, well, let's go with something that's pretty huge right now. Why not the Raptors?
Yeah, exactly. And so my touchstone with the Toronto Raptors as a kid was, like, again, I'm not a sports kid, like, whatsoever. I ran like track and cross country in high school, and literally because I couldn't get cut from those teams, and I was really fit while doing it. So like that was the bar of success I decided to have in high school with sports, was as long as I couldn't get cut from the team, like that was my sport, right?
Yeah.
But the Toronto, so for me, like as a little kid, like the Toronto Raptors, do you remember starter jackets at all?
Like, yeah, man.
Popular in the 90s.
I had my Chicago Bulls starter jacket a long time ago.
So I had a Toronto Raptors starter jacket for the only reason of it had a dinosaur on it that was a velociraptor. So I have that memory of having that like all through like elementary and middle school. And then when I was kind of getting a little too old for Halloween, like you go through this weird stage of like, I'm too old for Halloween, but I still want to go out and get free candy with my friends, you know, kind of mode.
Yeah.
That was my very first ever super lazy Halloween costume. Was I put on my Raptors jacket, and then I put on my Jurassic Park Raptor mask, and I literally went as a Toronto Raptor for
I love
Halloween.
it, dude. I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I should find a photo and get it submitted to the website.
Please.
Yeah. So that's my Toronto Raptors history, is basically just liking the dinosaur logo because I was a super cool kid, and then being a really lazy teenager at Halloween one year. Being in Toronto, I was actually taking a lot of Ubers that week that they were on, and every night in my Uber they'd be playing the games. And then the next, the day of the parade, this last Monday, they caused me an extra 15 minutes to and from work. So much appreciated.
Well, it could have been a little worse, it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
Not to continue with the Jurassic puns, I guess, but I'm very much interested in this team. I think it's a very fun team. I am always very confused when I go on Twitter and I find that Jurassic Park is trending around this time of year, because I'm like, well, wait, why is Jurassic Park trending? And then I realize everybody is talking about the playoff games and what's happening, and their stadium, their arena, not stadium, their arena is called Jurassic Park. I mean, it has a more official name, but this is like the nickname that everybody gives it, obviously. Why would you not just call it Jurassic Park? That's perfect. But
I think they call it like the park, or like it's like welcome to the park, and like, geez, I've lived here for 5 years and I really have no idea. But like whenever I used to go to the mall downtown a lot, where they would do like special like Raptor events, like I don't know, like a VR experience or something like that. But it's always like welcome to the park, and then there's the We the North shirts that everyone wears for. I don't know if it's just the Raptors. It might just be the Raptors because they're the only Canadian basketball team professionally. So
is Vancouver too, right? Are they still around?
I don't know.
The Grizzlies?
Maybe. I don't know. But they do have the shirts here that say like We the North, which is really cool. I think, I
saw that the other day. I was watching the game and I was like looking at their uniforms and I'm like squinting. I'm like, oh, it just says Raptors on it. And then I'm like, wait, no. It literally just says North on their jerseys. I was like, what team is this?
That's so weird.
And I'm like, it's such a disappointment for me because like in the early 90s, I loved the Raptors jerseys. Like you were saying with the jacket, like it was such an iconic jersey, kind of like how the Mighty Ducks, when they were around for, the movies were awesome. And then they actually introduced the team. It was like, wow, that's so cool that they actually have these things. And then the Raptors came around and they had these really, really cool, like purple jerseys with the Raptor on there in that pose. And now they just have like red, white, and like it just literally just says North.
Now.
Like,
yeah, that's such a bummer. The original jersey of the Raptor, like dribbling the basketball, it's so 90s, but it's so cool.
Oh yeah, I mean this North thing is just a variant, I guess, of they have multiple jerseys. That's just one of them.
Sure,
but yeah. I mean it's I think it's great that they're embracing the whole Jurassic Park thing with the arena nickname. And apparently they even call like different city squares around Toronto, like I guess Jurassic Park. I don't know. I'm just reading this stuff offline, but
I live here and I don't know.
Yeah, man, I have no idea, and Kawhi doesn't know either. This guy's laugh, dude.
What a laugh. The one cool thing I do see around the city a lot is this basketball logo with like the Raptor claws scratched into it. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, just I guess something fun to follow. I kind of wish that the Raptor, the basketball dribbling Raptor wasn't like gone. It seems to just be gone. Like I Googled Toronto Raptors and that thing does not show up.
No.
So that kind of reminds me of like for a short while, the Detroit Pistons used to have like a horse in their logo. And no one could understand why. Like, but you have to do this like weird wordplay, like, well, the Pistons give you horsepower in your car, right? It's like that was the whole thing with the horse. And, like no one got it. So that logo lasted like less than like 5 years, I think, with the aqua and stuff. But good on them. Congratulations to the Toronto Raptors for winning their championship.
Their first one ever this entire, time. I think they
26
officially
years, they said 25 years.
I think they officially debuted in 95. So yeah, just a few years short of that, but yeah, that's exciting. I had a good time watching it, aside from the portion at the end where I was falling asleep, but congratulations. That's I think that we deserve to spotlight the Toronto Raptors. So
yeah, totally.
Let's move on here to our big discussion. We're already 40 minutes in here, and we haven't even touched on John Hammond. So John Hammond, we've gone through a lot of stuff just recently here. We're going to start off.
Now, can you tell me what's happening with John Hammond? I've not heard anything about this.
No, you haven't? You haven't heard a single, outcry?
Not a single peep about John Hammond.
Well, let's, before we get into like the big outrage and everything like that, let's start first with some storyboards. So I think Jurassic Outpost actually, I think they came from Jurassic Time. He has some storyboards here. And interestingly enough, they showcase John Hammond getting killed. He's dead. He's going to die here by a raptor. So speaking of raptors, I don't know if this one's from Toronto or not, but I think it's from Nublar. He basically attacks John Hammond at this incubator, and he crashes down onto a physical set of Isla Nublar and the island and all that, and falls down. The hatchery falls and collapses. I think it maybe cracks some eggs or something like that. Yeah. And some roll away unharmed. It's an interesting looking piece of art, and I'm super into this, especially because I think it makes a lot of sense currently. So like I said, it has that artwork on there with him crashing down. It says they crashed down on the model of Jurassic Park, and it says pan left. So then the second piece of art also says there's like an arrow panning down, and it says this knocks over a portable incubator with 2 eggs. One breaks as the other rolls a couple feet away unharmed. So yeah, that's interesting. You get a look at this thing, Aaron?
Yeah, I got to look at it. I had some friends write me about it and say like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe that this was one of the potential endings?" And like when I saw this, well, one, the artwork is spot on to other storyboards we've seen, so it's obviously from the same time and from the same movie, right? This isn't like something that was created like last week and then photoshopped to look.
Oh no, Derek from Jurassic Time. He has like a ton of things from like the Phil Tippett auction and stuff like that. So he has all this good stuff. Right.
So this doesn't surprise me at all that this was one of the conceptualized endings for the movie. We know that John Hammond in the book dies because John Hammond is a very different character in the book than what Richard Attenborough brought to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't surprise me that, and especially we know that like Michael Crichton was involved in the early scripting process for it. So when you're writing these movies from a book, you're trying to take your 400-page novel and you're trying to cram it into 2 hours, right? And so this is very reminiscent to me of, this is like Crichton saying, well, I can't do Wu's death because he's not an important enough character maybe at this time, and I want to do Hammond's death, but we're not doing compies. We really want to focus on the raptors in this movie. So let's take the best of both those things and let's have the raptors kill John, inside the thing. So like, to me, this is not at all surprising that this was something conceptualized. I think probably later on when they were casting, and maybe after rewrite and after someone suggested that maybe John Hammond be more of a Walt Disney character, you can't have the Walt Disney character brutally murdered by a velociraptor, right?
No.
So this doesn't surprise me that this existed. And when my friends asked me about it, I was like, no, this isn't surprising. Like, in here, let me tell you my 30-minute long nerdy spiel about why this is not surprising to me. What I do find cool is the actual 3D rendition or the model of the park that we eventually saw in Fallen Kingdom. I think this is actually a really awesome thing. And it almost, gives a little bit of like backstory. Like, is Lockwood's model the model that was like, is that like originally from the days when him and John were planning the park, or is it something he built later? This maybe gives a little credence to the fact that this was something that actually existed in the early 90s.
I love that. I love the fact that this, model could have been something that's been around this entire time. I would assume so. I mean, I feel like it's a model that they, before the island was, conceptualized, they're like, well, this is what we want to do. We kind of want it to look like this because, the model doesn't exactly reflect what it was on the island. So there's some play around there. And I think like, it's interesting to think that this could have been around the whole time, and John Hammond almost died on top of it, which is crazy. So that's really cool. I love seeing that involved in this shot. And also the incubator, which is fantastic. I mean, John Hammond has a history with the incubator, from the movie, but also in the new toy that's coming out. He literally comes with, it looks almost identical to this little incubator. So that's pretty a nice little tie-in with currently, you have the model and then you have the incubator. I think it's really cool.
Now I want to, just before we go to the toy, I want to talk about this incubator. And like, it's interesting that there is this incubator because in the book, Grant is trying to kill raptors by injecting some sort of poison into eggs, right? Because his theory is that that they will eat eggs because they're kind of scavengers. They'll eat whatever they can get, and dinosaurs did eat other dinosaurs' eggs, right? So he's injecting poison into the eggs, and he's like rolling them towards the raptors, right? And I think at one point even one does break, right? Because it's trying to build tension. So one breaks in the book, and then he's only got like one left, right? And he's just like, I just need the raptor to pick up this one and like chomp down on it, and it will be gold, right? I'm wondering if maybe John at one point was trying to and this is why he has this portable incubator here in this scene. Maybe in this version of the script, he was the one trying to kind of destroy his creation. Again, that God complex, like I brought you into this world, I'll take you out kind of thing. Maybe in this iteration of the movie, he was injecting the poison into these eggs, and the raptor catches him off guard and he drops it, and like breaking one of them, maybe that was supposed to be like a suspenseful moment in this version. And then one was going to roll away, and this raptor that attacked him then maybe goes to chase down this egg with poison or something like that. I love that. Explain that, but I think that would have been I really wish that was in one of these movies, injecting the poison into the eggs. I hope that's something that we get in the future. I thought that was a really cool aspect of the novel. But yeah, to me, this screams of all these different things from the novel that unfortunately got cut.
Yeah, I love that idea. That sounds phenomenal. I could just see him kind of like Eddie Carr, like fumbling around trying to get, something to work before the dinosaur ultimately gets him. Like that could be really cool, like a cool visual. And then you see one of them gets away. That's
especially
awesome.
By the end of the movie when John Hammond realizes that this is all a disaster. Like John Hammond realizes that this is a disaster. What would you say? Like by the time that, because he still is at dinner with the ice cream, he's still convinced that he can make it work. Mm-hmm. So when's the moment that he feels like it's just gone completely wrong? Is it when the raptors are chasing his grandkids? Is that like the pivotal moment for John Hammond?
I think so. I think it's literally the moment on the phone when he hears the shotgun going off, right? It has to be. I think it's that moment. I know, he is certainly like upped his game a little bit with like trying to take charge with the power and all that stuff. But like, I feel like that's the moment where he's like, oh no, like this is really bad.
I mean, he builds the park, right? Because he loves dinosaurs and he loves children. And I think that moment when he realizes this creation I've made is actually going to destroy my own flesh and blood, right? That's when he loses it. And I think that's when a switch flips. And, Alan runs out and he's like, I've decided not to endorse your park. And he's like, yeah, no, me too.
So have I.
Like,
yeah.
We're out of here.
Yeah.
So have I. So, I think this could have been a moment after John decides like, no, my creations need to be destroyed and I'm going to poison these eggs. That would have been really cool. We don't see a syringe or anything in this image, but
no, I've been scouring really for it. Since you said it, I've been like, I'm like, there's a little thing right there. Oh no, that's just a wire. Oh,
what's he jabbing into the nose of the raptor?
See, that's what I was looking at, but I think it's just,
is it just a pen scratch?
No, I think it's just that there's like a wire that kind of hangs down behind or over top of his head.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's just a continuation of that wire, but I'm like, I thought many times, I'm like, oh, there it is.
That would have been really cool.
Discovering things on the fly here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting to bring up that this could have happened. And, it's beautiful looking storyboard here. So it was certainly worth notating. So you can find that on Jurassic Outpost. I'm sure we'll maybe, have a copy of it in our show notes. But continuing with John Hammond, I think this is the big thing. This one might take a little bit longer.
Let me pull out my notes. All right, I want to be as objective as possible.
So I'll give a brief overview here of what's going on. So, and also if you want to get more, I actually did a live stream on YouTube of this, so go check that out. But John Hammond was officially announced as a new toy from Mattel. So it's the Jurassic World Legacy Collection John Hammond. We pretty much know the Legacy Collection is basically all but dead right now. This thing is marked at $15. And there's a lot of fine print here. So like I said, it is the John Hammond figure dressed in white. He's got glasses, a hat, the beard and all. He's got the cane. It actually looks like it has a nice amber tip on there, and it does, again, come with this incubator with 2 raptors, or two eggs, one which is opened, and a raptor is actually like squealing out of it. The other one looks a little cracked, like it's maybe about to open, and it's on a pedestal. And I believe that I think it takes 3 AA batteries. So somehow 3 AA batteries fit in this thing. I don't really understand how, because that pedestal doesn't really look tall enough for it. But I don't know what the action is either. I really don't know what the maybe it's got to be some sort of sound or something like that. Maybe I hope they would like literally take the sound of the baby from Jurassic Park. That would be phenomenal. But the catch here is that this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So this is something that you could have pre-ordered. You could potentially get up to 5. And in order to actually get this item, you had to attend San Diego Comic-Con, check in at their booth, show your ID and your order confirmation, and they would essentially like confirm it and then send you the items later on after the event. Let's see. This is July 17th, I believe, 18th through the 20th as well, or the 21st. So there's a lot of days. But apparently they're also going to be available on the show floor. So if you want to buy them in person, you can do so. I don't really know what the limit is, or how long they're actually going to last, what their stock is, but apparently they will be on the show floor. So really, this is where the issue lies, is the fact that Mattel introduces a John Hammond figure, something we've been waiting 26 years for, and the first iteration of this toy is a extremely hard to get exclusive. That is where everybody is a little bit disappointed. So Aaron, you wanna come in here?
This sucks. So here's the thing. When I was preparing what I wanted to say, like, I'm trying to keep like my personal feelings out of it, right? And I'm trying to like wrap my head around how a company that was welcomed into the community with the most open of arms, right, by a community, and by a community that loves just about everything they put out, this is not consumer friendly whatsoever. This has me like, I'm pretty livid that this is how this is being approached, right? This doesn't benefit customers. This doesn't, by the way, I've gotten a few free things from Mattel, right, that we have promoted on the website and on the YouTube channel and everything. But like, I've also put in like hundreds of dollars into this collection. I'm not buying 1 Gallimimus. I'm buying like 20 Gallimimus, right? Like, I don't have 1 T-Rex. I have like 3 T-Rexes. So like, I'm not going to say that I'm a casual Mattel fan. I would have definitely think that I'm one of the hardcore fans out there, right? Mm-hmm. We did the thank you Mattel or good luck Mattel or something like that video back in the day.
Both, I think.
Yeah, both actually. Congrats and thank you and all kinds of stuff. This is not a consumer friendly move whatsoever. And I don't understand how this benefits Mattel in the least. If anything, this has created like a bitter taste in fans like mouths, and like, they're not making crazy profit off this thing. It's like a $15 toy. So there's scalpers on eBay, of course, right? Selling their pre-orders. They're not even selling actual items. They don't have items in hand. And people are like, I saw them go for $150 the other day on eBay. That's absolutely crazy. I just don't understand the mentality behind this, especially for a definitive iteration of the character. John Hammond in his white linen suit, from the opening of the original movie, right? Like, and then with a label that technically doesn't really exist anymore, or kind of doesn't exist. I'm really gray on where that label falls, the Legacy Collection. Mm-hmm. But to me, this is like, you don't do Generation 1 John Hammond at Comic-Con. You do Lost World Ian Malcolm, or you do pajamas wearing John Hammond, or you do like bloody.
Oh, even that one would have been, people would have freaked out about that too.
People would have freaked out.
Yeah.
But like, what I'm saying is, you do variants at Comic-Con. You don't do definitive versions of characters and make it a Comic-Con exclusive. Like, that's so weird to me.
Yeah. So, just as a little like heads up, I guess, as far as Comic-Con exclusives, I am scrolling through 2018 exclusives. There's a whole lot of X-Men stuff, statues, Superman minifigs. What do you have here? Some here's a Superman like statue, like a really good statue, Batman statue.
They're Mattel things?
No, these are in general, just like things that you can find as an exclusive. Funko Pops. Like here's one that is Thor from Ragnarok, I guess, and
yeah, but you can still get a Thor Ragnarok,
of course.
Funko. Maybe not that exact one, right? Like,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. These are variants. All these
they're
are
variants. Yeah, so I'm just going through
Superman
like
action figure. Like you can go to a store and get a Superman action figure of any size,
exactly,
right? Any actor. Like this is the one and only officially licensed John Hammond action figure. Like it's crazy how much people have wanted this. People have been asking for it, and for it to, I think, be revealed this way it's just kind of mean. Like,
yeah.
Again, I'm trying to put my personal feelings aside on this one, but I think this is a really mean thing to do to a community especially during Jurassic June. Like,
yeah,
this was kind of mean spirited, I think.
So this year it looks like they also have Captain Marvel Lego piece. It's very small. There's like a Ninja Turtles NECA set, I think. Yeah, with Splinter and 2 Foot Clan and Shredder. It looks incredible. Like I have no idea if these have been produced in any sort before. You have the clown from It in black and white. Some sort of Batman looking Ninja Turtle. Some Ghostbuster sets. Like these are things that we, like you were saying, we've seen these, like the Flash. Here's from like the comics, like a statue of the Flash. Wicket riding a speeder. Is that Wicket? I don't know. But so yeah, it's pretty much stuff that we could potentially already own in a different variant or whatnot. So I don't know. It is definitely. I don't know if I would say mean, but it's definitely misguided. I think
it's misguided, and it's almost devoid of. It's like it just shows a complete complete devoid of contact with the fan base. Like it's so incredibly weird, and it's tough because in the morning it was everyone is rushing trying to figure out how they can get one. And I can get free tickets to Comic-Con every year because I'm a film industry person. So as long as I'm on my game, I can sign up and get tickets to any Comic-Con I want for free as an industry insider, right? But San Diego is not in my backyard, so I'm not signing up for the free ticket to San Diego, obviously. Mm-hmm. So it's so weird that it's exclusive. It's in California only. It's at this one event that doesn't really celebrate Jurassic to begin with. It kind of never really has until, I guess, not even Jurassic World. Like Jurassic World was doing their celebration outside of Comic-Con, the first movie.
Yeah, I feel like New York Comic-Con more so celebrated Jurassic World. I forget about Fallen Kingdom. I really don't know what any of them covered for that, but it definitely, Universal in general really doesn't attend a lot of these things. It's just with any of their movies.
No, and it kind of sucked because as everyone kind of figured out that they weren't going to be able to get one, you started having like corporate apologists who were like, "Hey, well, Mattel's like really treated us great, in the past." It's like, "Oh no. Don't make no mistake. Mattel is happy to take your money for pieces of plastic." So like we shouldn't exactly act like Mattel has done us a favor, like us as the fans. Because like I saw like a lot of things like, Mattel has treated us really good. We shouldn't feel entitled. We shouldn't say that we deserve it. And I'm like, well, yeah, actually we kind of should, as fans who have put in a lot of money for Mattel to, keep going with this. There's actually is, I think, a real deserved sense of entitlement when it's like you create a super sought after character and don't make it available to the masses who, quite frankly, put you where you are with this franchise. Like, it's just super devoid of thought, which I think is really, really weird.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about the exclusive aspect. It's about the fact that this is a figure that we've really waited 26 years for. I know a lot of people have tried to explain, well, exclusives have happened for years and years and years. You always have exclusives at Comic-Cons and other events.
You do, but you have
it's very fair.
Exclusives.
But also, like I said, it's a 26-year wait that we've been all waiting for, and the only version we have is a Funko Pop, which just came out, in the past year. So this is something of a different beast, like something we've all been waiting for. So it is kind of like, it's really upsetting to have it be first revealed at a exclusive event where you have to pay a lot of money to get there, to sleep there, to get into the event, to get these toys, to do all that. It's not cheap. But I am sort of on the boat that you were saying about apologists and stuff like that. I don't think Mattel really owes us anything, but I do think they should have made a better call when it comes to releasing this thing first at a Comic-Con. I think I'm saying exactly what you were criticizing, but I think Mattel has done right by us for the most part here in the States. For the most part, outside of the States is a different story. I can't really speak to it all that much, aside from I know the distribution is very poor. But they've really done pretty good for us. And as far as exclusives go, usually at a Comic-Con or something like that, there is always, like you were saying, there is a variant or there is another version of it. So, and I didn't even mention this before, it comes in a nice, like, I guess a collector's box of sorts, where it actually has like the old Jurassic style of box, where it has like the fading sunset. It has the Jurassic Park gates, and actually the doors on the gates open up to reveal the figure inside. And then in addition to that, it also has the regular Jurassic World Legacy Collection box with like the Jurassic World gates. So I would assume maybe eventually, if I'm just guessing here, that they will release this in the future without those things. So without the exclusive box, maybe
For sure.
Maybe we'll get maybe the figure will still be intact with the hatchery thing or the incubator, but maybe just the box will be left off, or there's the chance that the box and the hatchery thing will be left off. I don't know, but I would make a very hard bet that this is going to be available in the future. I don't think they would just leave it on the table,
Yeah, and I shouldn't say that they owe us this. It's a matter of like, you made it. Now I feel like once you've made it, I think now there's an onus on the company to like release that character in some sort of mass produced way, right? Like, yeah, I agree. I think I don't really need the box because like I was on the fence yesterday. Yeah, I guess this happened yesterday in real time for us. I was literally like, I'm gonna buy one of these things on eBay, and the prices were at a point because I'm not keeping this thing in the box. Like, I'm tearing this thing open. And so it got to the point where I was like, no, I can't justify this money for a thing. Like, I'm destroying what I'm paying for, which is the box, right? And I mean, I guess the figure, but like, if the figure gets mass produced, then really the only exclusive thing is the packaging, which is beautiful, and maybe the hatchery. You have to assume that if John Hammond comes out, he's definitely coming with the cane. That's like part of him. I just thought this was super weird. And, I should definitely clarify. Mattel has treated us fantastically. Everybody that we've dealt with over there, whether it's, Mattel HR or their marketing or, Brit directly in the past, they're all fantastic. They've treated us really well. They've been nothing but nice to us. I just felt like this was just a total misfire. And hopefully this is a marketing ploy. Hopefully this is like the Hammond gets released at Comic-Con, and then that leads into some kind of like marketing thing for a new line that features Hammond. And then the kid from Fallen Kingdom, whose name I never remember.
Maisie? No,
not Maisie.
There's another kid.
The computer guy. Yeah.
Well, Franklin.
Yeah. Franklin. It's stressful because we're seeing no new humans created. And then the one that they do release finally after, it's been a year since a new human's been released. And it's this character we all love and all want, and now it's like exclusive to a convention center. It's really stressful.
It is, and to be honest, like I'm saying, they kind of mishandled this whole announcement. It really should have been, hey, we're releasing John Hammond. It will be in stores whatever day, July 17th or whenever the first day is.
Exactly.
But we also, if you guys go out to San Diego Comic-Con, you can get this exclusive Jurassic Park box. Everybody would have still lined up. They would have been there.
Exactly.
You would have sold out.
You can get John Hammond with the exclusive Jurassic Park box and special commemorative accessory, the hatchery that takes AAA battery. Like, people still would have lined up. People would still be selling them on eBay for $150. Like, the toy would not have been any less sought after.
No, so that's where the mistake lies. They could have gotten rid of all this backlash and hate, and I think we do need to address that as well, because I have seen some really, really brutal takes out there, and I get it. Like, I was angry. I am upset that this is the way that this was handled, but you really can't attack. Please don't attack. Like, I know you're upset, and I know you're hating this decision, but like I said, Mattel has done pretty great by everybody with these toys. They're very fantastic toys overall. Obviously, there's some missteps along the way, but I think they've done a great job. So please don't attack. At least handle this in a very, adult manner, and just take it easy. There are people behind these handles that you see online. So just remember that, and just, if you need to issue an apology to somebody out there at Mattel, just do so right now. Just get it done. Say, I'm sorry I reacted so harshly. I'm very upset at this, but I shouldn't have said those things. But because some of these people have been very, very vocal with their hate, and I really dislike seeing that. That's not really the way it should be handled. If you have something to say, bring it up with their PR team, or some sort of outreach where you can actually say these things and say, look, I'm disappointed in the way this was handled. I really want to get my hands on it. Is there any way that this is going to be available in the future? Say something like that.
Right.
That's the way I view this. It should be handled with a little bit of respect, even if you don't find this decision respectful.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason to go out with vitriol and spread hate. Like, that doesn't get anything accomplished. Again, the best thing you can do is contact Mattel via any of their communication devices, and just say, it's so easy to say, I love your product. I'm so disappointed that this is an exclusive that I can't participate in. Like, I had a very real conversation with you the day of, or the day after, actually, and I was like, this kind of makes me not want to collect anymore, like the Mattel stuff. And it's only because now it's I know that there's this elusive thing out there that doesn't really, I don't try to collect to fill the collection anyway. I collect because I want certain things for my quote unquote park on my desk. And to know that John Hammond is out there and that I can't get one, to me, that kind of ruins the fun of all of it. And I know that's really petty, and I know that's really silly because I'm 35. But it kind of just makes me want to be I can't realize my vision for what is actually possible. I'm might just kind of be done. I don't know. I say that, but I'm not, because I'm super excited about the Brachiosaurus. But again, I think the Brachiosaurus is going to be a disaster.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people I've heard from are in that same boat, dude. You are not alone in saying, I think I'm done. That's not me personally, but I had several people reach out to me and say those exact words, that I think I might just sell it, and I think I might just be done. I think this is it. This is the last straw. And especially with people in the UK where they can't even get any products, they're really having a hard time. And the UK gets more than other parts of the world. So the distribution is tough, and of course the way they handled the Spinosaurus was infamous and certainly mishandled. But look, we are getting another Spinosaurus, so maybe we'll get a blue variant of John Hammond in some blue suit.
Don't say that.
Battle damage blue. I mean, battle damage Hammond.
A target colored Hammond, red and white. Linen suit. Oh.
No, I don't think that'll ever happen. If anything, we'll get that pajama guy, but I don't think that will ever happen. But
Stop with
But look, in a few months' time or a year's time, we could be saying that this is just like Owen. Like, oh God, enough with the Owens. You know, like there's an Owen, there's like 6 Owens deep on one peg. Like, what's going on here? Like, it could be just like this. We just have to temper our reaction just a tad.
What my big fear is, though. Everyone pitched a fit when the Malcolm started hitting the shelves.
Yeah.
And now it's like Target can't get rid of Ian Malcolm figures. And
we've counted like 60 or so, like on a shelf at one point in clearance. You know, somebody had to sit there and slap all the clearance stickers on there, and they can't get rid of them. So
you know what makes me really like upset is the fact that someone at Mattel might have just been like, you know what, screw it. If the fans want these human figures, they'll do whatever they can do to get it, and we don't have to deal with the distribution to like mass market. And so I'm really worried that humans become the new exclusive to Jurassic, and all we get are dinosaurs at the stores. Like, that is like a big fear for me. And like I said, to me, Jurassic, I've said it a million times on here, Jurassic is about not just dinosaurs. It's about the cars and the humans that go along with them. And if you can't have humans, it just doesn't feel worth it, man. Like, I hate to say it. It just makes me want to quit.
I totally get that.
Like, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's a fun hobby for me, and something like this ruins the fun, unfortunately.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's the principle of the whole thing, like, especially coming from John Hammond. You know, these things are not meant to cater only to the super rich. You know, this is not meant to cater. Everyone in the world should have the opportunity to buy this. And look, maybe we're speaking too soon. I would really bet that this is going to be released in full in stores. But like I said, and you said as well, we don't really know what the future is for the Legacy collection. I went to Target the other day and I saw the Legacy Chompin'. I'm so confused with all these things. The Chompin' whatever.
T-Rex.
Yeah, the T-Rex. Sorry, I didn't
T-Rex
say which dinosaur.
Line, that's the
like the smaller T-Rex.
Yeah, it's a shelf warmer.
But dude, there had to be 30 plus. And I'm not joking. There was 30 plus of these things in a clearance section, but marked as full price. So I don't know what was going on there. And aside from that, they also do have the green T-Rex still with the baby. That is still a Legacy item. But those are the only 2 things that I saw in Target. And I've really seen, you know, once the clearance stuff happened, there really hasn't been much in the way of Legacy stuff. So who knows where this will even end up.
And it's the same thing with, like, here's why you see all those Legacy T-Rexes sitting in a bin but not actually marked down. It's because if they destroy them, I don't know what happens to overstock, but basically if they clearance out these T-Rexes, the only thing they're going to get in return for inventory is a repackaged Chompin' T-Rex in the Dino Rivals thing. Like, here in Toronto, we have Indoraptors in the new packaging, and we have the Colossal T-Rex in the packaging, right? And they're sitting right next to their original counterparts. So the reason these things aren't actually going on sale is because there's not actually a new product to replace them. It's the same product in a different box. And that's just like, why would Target or Walmart or whoever these things are, if they didn't sell originally, which obviously there was higher expectations for how these Legacy figures were going to sell, right? And these humans, there was higher projections, and they didn't hit the mark. So this is why I think Franklin hasn't come out. This is what scares me about Hammond being mass released, with the way that, like, Malcolm you can go get for like $1, on clearance. Even on Amazon, where usually the Legacy stuff is marked up on Amazon, they were selling for like $5 or $6. Malcolm, Grant, Muldoon, like all of them. And I picked a couple up for my nephew. Like, I just don't see them releasing Hammond in the stores, and I really hope I'm wrong.
I hope so. I mean, maybe they'll find a spot. Maybe we'll see the return of the Legacy stuff. I mean, at least in a small part, because we do know the Brachiosaurus is coming very soon. It's already starting to be sent out to people, and it does have the Legacy tag on there. So there needs to be a spot for that. But like I said, there's a little bit of bad faith with Mattel for some of these items, and whether it's distribution overseas, or the Spinosaurus, or the Plesiosaurus, or now Hammond, and potentially the Brachiosaurus. We don't really know yet, but there is a slight bit of bad faith. So I think Mattel needs to dig themselves out of a little bit of a hole here, and they can't just do it by I don't know. I don't really know how they can do it.
Right now, you can't come out and say, well, yeah, Hammond will be released a week later in stores for, $7.99, right? Because you will burn the exclusivity that, like, the hype around this figure. And then you will really tick off the people who went out and spent $100 on eBay for a pre-order.
Yeah. To do that now, if they had done it originally, like, it would have been fine. But to do it now is a kick in the face, to all of these people who just threw away all that money, for sure.
Right. It's a really big disaster. Someone mentioned, like, oh, maybe they'll pack him in with the Brachiosaur, but we've seen the Brachiosaur box.
Oh, he's definitely not there.
Yeah, he's definitely not in there. It would have said on the box, including John Hammond or something. I mean, look, even Kelly from The Lost World, she was an exclusive figure to a $50 playset. Like, if you wanted Kelly, you had to go get the command trailer. So, like, I don't know, man. This is just so backwards, and it's not consumer friendly. It doesn't benefit Mattel. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. I'm totally cool with exclusives. If you want to do them in the future, just make them variants. Just do something that we already have. Like, do another Indominus, or something big, something worthwhile. But a first run of a character that we've been waiting, this long for is a little rough. So let me ask you this.
How cool would it have been for the variant, for them to do a Comic-Con exclusive variant Indominus Rex that had, like, a speckled green, like, camouflage?
Oh, amazing.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Now, I was going to say, what do you think about this? If they, released Hammond normally, but the exclusive for Comic-Con was, let's say, Dr. Wu or some other character, Dennis Nedry or something like that.
No, I'm sorry. If you're going to do a first run of a character, that character should be allowed to be in the main stores. Now, I will say this. I don't deem Wu or Nedry as important as Hammond, but I would still be bummed. I think I would still have this same attitude. But I will say I do think I am for sure heated because of who it is.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get the point across here. I mean, like, John Hammond, we are all so excited by John Hammond, and he is literally the creator of Jurassic Park, and he deserved, to be purchased by everybody. So if you were to throw some other character out there, yes, we would be a little bummed. But like, I could sacrifice, like, not ever getting Dr. Wu or Dennis Nedry or something like that. I would be upset and certainly not like that call. But I think John Hammond is a much bigger deal. He could be more coveted than any of the other. I think he is. I think he has to be nearly one of the most coveted items,
So for me, it is okay. So, all right, I see your point, right? Wu, I maybe wouldn't be I would be upset that I wouldn't have the whole collection, but I feel like you can tell in play, right? You can tell stories without Wu. I feel like Hammond is super integral in that. I feel like the next one that would send people absolutely ballistic would be Lex. If they released a Lex figure like this, that would be a disaster. Because we know that she cried when she found out she wasn't getting her own action figure as a child. Like, that, even that character has such a storied past with why there wasn't an actual figure, right? And it boils down to like basically toy and childhood, like, sexism, right? Like, boys don't want to play with girl action figures. And to me, even as a kid I was 7 when this stuff happened, it was ridiculous to me that Lex didn't have an action figure. It didn't make any sense that Hammond didn't have an action figure. But the mentality was probably like, well, who wants to play with an old man? Well, everyone loves Jurassic Park, right?
Well, that is the mentality now. Like, that's what people are afraid of. Does Target care to have John Hammond on their shelf?
Right. Who wants an old man on the shelf?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's the huge problem. So for me, it would be like Hammond, Lex and Tim, I think, would actually be a great package together.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Like, if you got a Lex and Tim set, and then I think the actual perfect Comic-Con exclusive And let's say this character was never released on shelves. The perfect one would be Gennaro with the bathroom.
No, dude, no, that's my near number one coveted item. You can't do that to me.
Dude, here's the thing. I would absolutely love that figure, but that is something that, like, that to me screams Comic-Con.
Oh, no. I see. Yeah, I guess, like, more so than this, but I feel like that would even go for way more money. You know,
dude,
especially because it's a play
set. $500.
Yeah, it's a play set. It's something big. That needs to be released. Please. I feel like that comes up every episode, every live stream, every time I talk about something. I'm always talking about that toilet, and I need that toilet play set.
What Mattel really needs to do is they need to stop packing these. I will admit I was wrong. I thought packing humans separately was probably a good idea, and I don't think it's working out the way they wanted to. What they need to do is they need to regroup, and they need to release packs of humans, and it needs to be sets of 3 or 5, and they need to charge as much as they would charge for like a dual attack or something. And it just needs to be a human pack, because I don't think that these single edition characters, especially like Owen, right, and the legacy characters, I just don't think they're selling as much as they thought they were going to sell.
Yeah, well, I don't know. A pack of humans is interesting. I could definitely go for that for sure. But like even further than that, they need to, instead of like giving you the submarine with the Mosasaurus and just random mercenary number 1, that needs to be labeled as, hey, his name's Doug, you know, or something like that. Or, you know, comes with Owen. Stop releasing so many Owens and then release an Owen with something in particular. I want them packaged up with a playset, with a vehicle, you know, like something like that. If they had less Owens on the pegs, but more Owens with an ATV, I'd be all for that. But yeah, I think, like you said about Kelly Malcolm, like that was great that it came with, you know, a bigger set. That's where they need to really sell these humans, I think.
I think about my Kenner figures, and like I have all the original Kenner figures. So like I'm talking, I have Ajay, I have the Nick Van Owen that comes with like the Brontosaurus, Apatosaurus. Like I have all of those, and I didn't spend extra money on eBay. I have them naturally from probably Christmas gifts for those.
Yeah.
But I would be really sad if I didn't have an. I would be sad if it was like, hey, Comic-Con exclusive Ajay, but like I wouldn't be like destroyed. I'm really destroyed over this dumb Hammond figure.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to say. I think it's just it's unfortunate that we have to go through this. It should have really been announced as a dual, you know, release in 2 separate places. I'm worried about the future. I do have faith that Mattel will pull through and release this in some fashion. I think it just really depends on where the Legacy collection falls. Like, are the ties going to be cut with Targets? Will they maybe, you know, do this solely on Entertainment Earth or Amazon or something? Like,
why do you think they keep pushing this Legacy collection? Like, be done with it. Just Jurassic World. Like, I don't understand why we still have to have Legacy tied up in this. It makes no sense to me. Like, a raptor's a raptor, in my opinion. Like, granted, I get there was different paint schemes in all the original movies, but like, why is there a Legacy raptor? It just needs to be a raptor.
No, that's the problem with the brand in general is brand confusion and people not understanding what the difference is. The Legacy collection looks like it may come from a different company or something. You don't know, because there are IPs out there that, you know, come from different brands. So this could look like that, but it doesn't. It's the same brand. So it's confusing. They should just get rid of it, please. Just go under Jurassic World. And everybody knows who Hammond is. They're not confused that Hammond was in Fallen Kingdom? Oh, no. This is just Hammond from the first movie. Obviously, he's wearing those clothes. You know, like, we're not dumb.
Right. Like, when you go look at Star Wars figures on the shelves, do they say, like, specifically, like, what movie they're from? No, it's just like, hey, Star Wars, General Grievous, right? And it's, you know, they've got some other cute surtitle, like some branding thing that they're trying to pass off that quarter. But no one cares. Everyone knows who the characters are. And I think fans of this franchise definitely know who Hammond is. But again, like, even in the old days of Kenner, Wave 2 and 3 never sold nearly as well as Wave 1. And the fact that Hammond, Franklin, the Brachiosaur, they're all coming out in this off season, man, it's just really, it just sucks. Like there's no way for me to be excited about it. I'm hopeful that it comes out, but man, right now it just, as a fan, it just kind of sucks.
I agree. I'm not trying to defend them fully. I just think that we should just maybe have faith and just like trust that they should come through. That's just the way I look at it, really. I know nothing about the future of what Mattel is producing, but just knowing the past and knowing how they've come through, like I know the Spinosaurus is not what we're looking for exactly, but they are releasing another one.
It's not what we're looking for exactly. They are releasing it, fortunately. But here's the thing with the Spinosaur. If you really want it, if you really want the Spinosaur, you can get one at base cost. Yes, you have to figure out how to get one from the UK, but it exists.
Yeah.
And you get it at base cost. It's still on the shelves out there. That is what is stressful about this Hammond thing. It's that it's only available in this one location for a limited time to an exclusive group of people. And I think that's what's really the worst part of all of it.
Yeah. So, look, Mattel knows. They know they made a little blunder here, I think. Do
they really know or care?
I think so. I do think they do. The people behind it, like I was saying, there are people behind all these, names, like the Mattel handle or, the people who make them. A lot of these people that make these items literally follow you or I or, other people out there in the community. And they see it. They do, even if they don't follow you, they see the hashtags or they see this or that, the shared posts. So not that I'm saying like, tiptoe around them or anything, but just be nice. That's all I'm saying is, yes, it's an unfortunate situation, but be nicer about it. Not trying to lecture you all, but like, I don't want to see people getting in arguments or fights or, stuff like that. I don't know. I just don't want to see that. So
it's not worth it. And I guess the last thing I will say is, if for anybody out there who is got the means or the desire to spend all that money, please be careful on eBay. What you are buying on eBay right now is only a pre-order that someone claims they have. Look, I have no problem buying from scalpers. I am looking at a Mark Englert poster on my wall that I bought from someone who was at Comic-Con one year, the year they were giving out in the Jeeps around the convention center. I got online and I bought from a scalper. It's a beautiful piece of work. I have no qualms about how much money I spent on it, but please wait until these people have these items in their hands. Please wait until people are taking photos of them and posting them on their eBay pages. Please do not spend this money on a pre-order. I promise you that as soon as people are getting their 5 a piece at Comic-Con, these will show up on eBay for hopefully less money than what they're going for now. And you will have a much more trusted interaction with someone out there. So, do what you want. It's your money, but please just, protect yourself in that way.
Yeah.
I guess.
So take a step back, breathe, just take it easy. I think everything will be fine. We just have to be patient and see what comes of this all. So
I'll be honest. I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm waiting for someone to have them in their hands, in their hotel room, take a photo, and hopefully the market will be flooded that week, I'll be able to snag one for an okay price. That's my hope.
Yeah, and let's hope we see them on the shelves eventually. That's about it. I mean, I think we've pretty much beaten the dead horse there.
We've beaten it into the ground.
But that's about it. That covers it. I think we did a lot of topics there, some quicker,
covers everything,
and definitely covered John Hammond quite a bit. So yeah, that's about it. And I'm sure there's a ton of stuff we didn't discuss, but
I'm sure.
In the meantime, if everybody's outraged like yourself, where can they find you online?
You can send all of your grief to @Beyer on Twitter. I will write back and sympathize with you and cry with you that I also don't have one. Sorry for the super salty episode this week.
That's why I love this segment though, is because our takes are always vastly different. They're like, we always have the opposite sides, and we're always like, advocating or, hating on something. So there's always like a back and forth, a discourse here. So I love it.
I think what's great about the segment, right, is generally throughout the podcast, other than the mailbag, right, it's a promotional podcast, right? It's us celebrating fandom and kind of promoting, what the creators out there are giving the community. Like what The Wire is, it's kind of like hot takes. It's kind of like the real, like for me, it's like the real reactions, like, kind of thing. Sometimes they do great things. Sometimes they do things that aren't so great. But it's just a great place to come and talk about it. And it's not like we're complaining every week. I think what's nice about the segment is if there are complaints, they come out, in one segment and then it's done and over with and we can kind of move on.
Yeah.
It's a nice venting section, I guess.
Go back and listen to previous Wires and you'll see us say 100 other things that are great about Mattel. So yeah, it's just, it's an issue that, it's current, it's timely, and, we're somewhat outraged here. So
yeah. I mean, look, I love Mattel. I just wish this was different.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of the segment in July. See what kind of hot takes we have then. So what do you say we head out of here?
I hope that next month we have a hot take of we all got Hammond figures from Target and Walmart. That would be the best.
That would be the best, man. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully.
See you next month.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
Thank you so much for listening to the 194th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. We are getting close to 200. It's within our sights. We are just a few short episodes away from 200. That's crazy. That is, I mean, to be honest, we are way over 200 if you count all the bonus episodes and all the other stuff that we've done. We are far and above 200, but that's just our main episode, numbered episodes. So I still would love to celebrate 200. What do you guys think? Should we do it? Should we celebrate 200? Let's plan something. Let's get this figured out because we're getting too close and I haven't planned anything yet. So we'll get on that. But thank you again for listening all this way. And of course, thank you to Aaron for joining me for The Wire today. Now, I know Aaron and I pretty much disagree on a lot of topics. And I think that's what makes this segment so great is because we have these difference of opinions. Of course, we do agree on a lot, but I think when it matters, there's always a debate going on here on these episodes with The Wire. That's why I just love this segment so much because we can agree on things that are great and things that are negative, but we also take sides sometimes. And, the Hammond figure is something that I agree with, but I also have to take a side. I agree with the hate and the anger. No, not the hate. I agree with the anger that's behind this figure, but I also have to, have a level head, and I see it that way because I hope and I really think that Mattel will come through. So if I am wrong, I will fully come clean, when that time is ready, because we don't know yet. We have no idea what's going to come. So, but if that happens, of course, I'll be like, guys, I messed up. The figure never showed up. We never got a re-release of this thing. So yes, I was wrong, but I'm going to save that. Hopefully I don't ever have to say that. Hopefully Mattel will come through for us. But yeah, Aaron, I love this segment so much. I hope everybody else does as well. But yeah, I'm sure next month will be a treat for sure. We have no idea what's coming over the next month here, but I'm sure it's going to be crazy. So keep an ear out for the next Jurassic Wire. But you know what? I think it's time to do I'm just going to actually do one review. I've had a long weekend, and I'm recording this, after driving 6 hours or something like that. So I am dedicated for you guys. So I'm going to just do one review. And if you could do me one favor, because I'm doing this for you right now, go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. Just write a few kind words. Doesn't have to be kind. It could be negative if you really feel that way. Or if you just want it to be funny and you want to hear me read something ridiculous, I'll do it. I will. I really will. So just go to Apple Podcasts, and if you have the app on your iPhone, just go on there and just pull it up. Just search for the show. You should easily, that's not a thing. You should easily be able to leave a review and give us those 5 stars if you feel up to it. And if you don't, I'll still read it anyway. But this one I have here comes from Bizarro50, and it says, "Life found a way to create this podcast. If you like the IndieCast, then you'll love the Jurassic Park Podcast. It is one of the highlights of my week." You know, Bizarro50, that is so awesome. That is really so amazing to hear the IndieCast and the Jurassic Park Podcast in one sentence. That really means a lot to me, because the IndieCast is one show that I have looked up to for, oh my God, when did that was 2008? 11? Wait, no way. 2008. That's no. Yeah? What? 11 years? Is that's accurate? Ed? Please, Ed from the host of the IndieCast, you've been doing that for 11? No way. No. This is like a legit reaction. I've been listening to that show for 11 years now. That is absolutely crazy and awesome and incredible, and I am just blown away. I'm trying to Google Crystal Skull right now because I'm like, there's no way. It is 2008. I was right. They've been doing it since before that. The IndieCast, guys. If you have not listened to the IndieCast, it is one of my favorite shows of all time. So, podcasts. So I've been listening to it for 11 years now, and they talk about Indiana Jones. For a while, it was every week. Sorry, I hit the mic. And now it's every other week, and I love it. Ed is such a great host. I have truly tried to model this show off of everything that Ed has thrown together for the IndieCast. It really inspired me to do this show. So, like I said, to hear that show and this show together in one sentence really means a lot, because that's what I modeled this after. When I set out to do a Jurassic show, I looked at my catalog of podcasts and I said, what's the kind of show that I want to produce? And I saw the IndieCast there. I saw, WDW Radio with Lou Mangello. And I saw shows like that. And I said, I want to be positive like WDW. I want to put together, Ed is also positive as well. But I also want to put together, that type of show that he did with the audio clips and the segments, the transitions, the ability to let anybody be a part of it. That was where, the IndieCast really became prominent here, is because Ed, took the time to let anybody from the fan community for Indiana Jones be a part of the show. So, you guys who have joined the show, who have become a part of it, who have called in, who have done, anything to help support it, that's all because of Ed and the IndieCast. So, go please give him a subscribe. Go follow him on Instagram or Twitter or wherever, and just go support that show. But this week, I always try to lift you guys up and to say something positive, and I'm going to continue that. So something that I learned, again this week after meeting everybody, is that meeting the people that you see online, the images that you see in the avatars on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or wherever. It's an amazing experience to meet those avatars in real life, to see those people that are behind those accounts. So, summer is here, so why don't you go ahead and please go message those people and say, you know what? Let's meet up. Let's hang out. Let's do a fan meetup at some event. Let's just go to a movie. Let's get lunch. Let's get dinner. Let's just hang out in a park. I don't know, whatever you guys want to do, but go set some plans. Meet up with some people, because it is incredible. Meeting, like I said before, meeting up with these people that, I had the chance to meet with, it was like we have been friends forever. Like I had gone to middle school, to high school, to college with all of these people, and I've known them for my entire life. So I'll cherish meeting everybody, that I did this past weekend, and of course over all the other meetups and events that we've been a part of here at the Jurassic Park Podcast. It's because of the fandom that we have such awesome relationships, because friendships and stuff that you've been having since you were a very small kid may have faded away over time. Of course, some linger. That makes it sound really bad. You know, all your current friends are bad. They linger. All the internet friends are the best. So that's what I'm trying to say here is forget about your real life. No, of course, your real life friends are great. But, oh, you know what? That's what I've been trying to say. Actually, let me just state this real quick. I gotta do it myself too, of course. But let's stop saying real life friends or internet friends because, guys, they're just friends. We're just friends. We're in an age where it's not weird. It's not, strange. It shouldn't be strange. It's a normal thing. So we're all just friends. That's it. We're all just friends. So thank you guys for being my friend. I really appreciate it. Let's roll the outro.
Saddle up. Let's get this movable feast underway.
Please give us a follow on Twitter at Jurassic Park Pod and myself at Brad Jost. Also on Facebook and Instagram at Jurassic Park Podcast. Don't forget to join the Jurassic Park Podcast group on Facebook. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, our website, or wherever else podcasts are found. So please be sure to subscribe. Also, don't miss our toy hunts and reviews, in-depth bonus content, live streams, gameplay, events and theme park coverage, and so much more on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We will read your reviews at the end of every episode, so please be sure to spare no expense. Don't miss us on the web at JurassicParkPodcast.com, where you'll find today's episode show notes, wonderful articles, bios from our contributors, and so much more. If you want to get a hold of us, you can fill out the contact form on our website or email us, JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. We're always looking for new segments, contributors, mailbag submissions, or anybody who just wants to say hello. Feel free to call our voicemail line at any time to leave us a message. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now.